Hey, good morning. So, welcome to the OpenFlip course. This is the fall 2015 edition. We've done this 2 times already this year. We did it in February to April-ish of 2015. I call it the winter edition. I did it in the summer with a group from Prepa and Veracruz. And we actually did it a couple times before the previous year, but in a closed environment. So this is the first kind of repeat of a full version, because in the summer I didn't do it in full-blown method. So here we go. I'm at the main page. So if you actually go to aulainvertida.org, or actually if you go to the openflip.com, they go to the same place. They're just redirects to my Ken's courses, OpenFlip. It talks about the history of the course. I'm trying to get some comments from previous people. I should bug them a little bit more. It links to what we did the previous years. Most importantly, I need to make this link a little bit more obvious. Next session starts October 19th, which is this week. Click to see that site. So if you click through to see this site, you're there. If you've got friends that want to sign up, have them give me their name and email, and I'll add them to the list. It's not too late to sign up. Anyone can still sign up at any time, actually. It's better to do it now so you can get on top of the activities. So if you click on that, you get to this session, this fall 2015 session. Little quick preview. We have the privacy policy and comment policy. You might want to take a look at that. Twitter information. I'll just open this in another tab so I'm not closing things. The Twitter information, the course on Twitter. You can follow us. You can participate. And following us means following the OpenFlip account. I have a second account that I use, and then also there's a link there to my Twitter account where it's the click on the link. My Twitter is Ken_Bauer. I'll be sending out kind of official-ish announcements from the OpenFlip account, so you might want to follow that. Feel free to follow me. You don't need to. I don't just post about this course. I'll post about my other courses. I'll post about hockey. I'll post about lots of stuff. So you might want to follow us there. The other thing you might want to check out is the Contact Us page. Again, I need to check this. I should update this. Yolanda's not working on this round, so I should update that. If you want to help out, jump on and we can get on that. So here's the home. Obviously, going into the home, about, tells a bit more about the course and history of the course. Getting started, how should you get started? The units is really the schedule, so you can look at the overall schedule, the introduction, which is what I sent out the week before, Unit 0, which is the week we're in now, then 1, 2, 3, 4, which is the flipped pillars, and then we're going to do a plan and flip lesson portion, and then a wrap up at the end. This all goes through October, November, and into the first week in December. This all blogs link is going to be more interesting when I've got you registered. So the idea is your content's going to be linked here. Anything you post will show up here. There's also a little bit of information about how this course was inspired by Jim Groom, Brian Lamb, Alan Levine, and others. The important thing to get yourself in this all blogs is to register your blog. Okay, so get on the mailing list. That's on the right. Get ready. You're going to need a blog, Twitter account, etc. I'm going to talk about that in a second. And there's the form. If you click on this form, I'm going to open it up in a separate window. You won't see the edit this form. That's just me, obviously. I want your first name, last name, your Twitter username, your email address, your YouTube URL. A Google Plus page would be helpful so I can invite you, but it's not critical. Are you from the tech? Just to know where you're coming from. What area are you teaching? And tell me where your blog is. Okay, and there's a little bit more details here about it, but basically give me a link to your blog. I don't want to link to the editing portion. I want to link to the place a random person on the internet can see your work. So you need to make sure, maybe get your friend to open up the page that you're sharing so they can see and they go, oh yeah, I can see your blog posts. Also an excellent idea to actually have a first blog post before you share it with me. At least a hello world, my first blog post, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm really excited, or whatever you want to write in that first blog post. Then that helps me register it. If you got any other comments, put them here, I'll read them. So I'll close that up, and let's just go through how we get started. Alright, so lots of details here. I need you to have a Twitter account because Twitter is our best way to communicate. You can communicate openly via Twitter, or privately with private message to me. I actually have private messages open, so I don't need to follow you. You can always private message me in Twitter. Find me on Facebook and other places, but this is where we're going to communicate mostly. I need you to have a blog. I highly recommend WordPress. If I'm going to show you how to set it up right now, but if you want, I can help you set that up, and I recommend it over the other options for this group. Blogger is the Google option for blogging. I'm not really a big fan. I'm a big Google fan, but I don't like their blogging interface so much. But it works fine. If you like using Blogger, go for it. Tumblr's another option. Known is one I really like. I could talk for ages about the indie web and how to take back the web and why Known is important for that. So you might want to check out Known. That's another option that's free. You'll need to create videos and you'll need to publish them somewhere. Ideally, you publish them on YouTube. You could publish them in Vimeo or some other place, but ideally YouTube, you need a YouTube account. So once you have all that, let's go over to the register your blog page. It's linked here, and then upload all that information you have. Now, Twitter. I'm going to say a couple things about Twitter. If you go to twitter.com, if you already have an account, great. Make sure it's an open account, not a closed private account. If you share things, you want other people to see what you're sharing. Maybe you won't want to share private information on Twitter, and we'll talk about that more in the future. So you should really use Twitter for your professional development. We'll talk about that later, actually, in Pillar 4. So if you're new, you got to sign up, full name, email, password, sign up for Twitter. Let me actually log into my, should be in. Okay, sorry about that. I'll edit all that out so you didn't see any of that mess. So now I'm in my Twitter account. I want to show you one thing, because I always forget to show people this. When you first set up your Twitter account, you're going to want to go into settings. And you're going to want to change a lot of things possibly. But especially people start to freak out because they get too many email notifications. So go down to this email notifications and just turn it off. Pretty much completely turn it off. So you can choose what you want. You might get excited because someone's following you or someone sent you a direct message. But if you're in a large group and it gets really noisy, you might want to just turn all this stuff off and only see Twitter stuff from your Twitter client, whether it's on the web or via your mobile or your tablet. So that's one recommendation I make, because I don't want your email box to blow up. In terms of WordPress, WordPress is really easy. You go to wordpress.com, you say create a website. I already have websites, so I'm not going to go through this completely. There's a version in Spanish. You can choose your template. So let's choose 80s. And then you can say, what is your domain? And the idea here is it's going to be something.wordpress.com. So I could choose kenbauer.wordpress.com. And it says, hey, it's available. I can select it. Simple. You can pay the money if you want to. You don't need to. You can get more customized domains by doing that way. You don't need to pay the money. It's free. It's a nice setup. Really easy to use. Go crazy with that. Known's another option. You can sign up to have with Known. You can again choose something.withknown.com. You could choose kenbauer.withknown.com. Give my site a name. Choose a username, email address, etc. Pretty simple to set up. There's my calendar. So let me go back to get ready. I think that's about it, really. Get those things set up. Your blog, your Twitter, your YouTube. Fill out this form about register your blog. The other thing I need to do this week as well is record a video and write a blog post about week 0. Okay. So once you've got that, do me a favor, and when you post it, make sure you put a tag on it, either a category or just a tag with a hashtag, and call it week 0, week and the number 0. That'll help me integrate it into our blog feed, and then your stuff will start showing up on this page. All right. Have an excellent week. I will be available anytime. You want to email me, you want to send me a Twitter message. We can do a Google Hangout, and we can have a conversation about what's going on. This is, if you're physically in the city, you can come visit me. On Friday at noon, I'm planning to have a session with some experts about sharing, kind of week 0 tools thing. Why should you be blogging? Why should you create videos? Why should you be sharing what you're doing in your discipline? So I'm going to probably do that on Friday at noon Guadalajara time. I'll be sending out more information about that very soon via the email link. All right, have a good week. I forgot to mention one thing. So I was actually mentioning it, but I didn't show it on the page. So I talked about the video in the blog post for the homework for this week. So if you go to the schedule, I'll click on schedule here. You can go straight to the Unit 0. It shows you the layout of the schedule, the weeks, etc., information. I'll go to week 0 setup, which you could have got through the menu, and relax, everything's cool. I'm going to put this video, so this will be replaced with this video I did right now, and the Spanish one will be there as well. The details about what you need to do: set up your Twitter, set up your blog, set up your YouTube. That's part A. Part B is give me your initial thoughts. I want a short essay as a blog post, and I want a short video screen capture. Okay, please post this to your blog. Also include your blog in the tag Unit 0. I actually said week 0, but I'll change it to Unit 0 because it's not really weeks, because there's one where there's 2 weeks. So post it as Unit 0 on your category or your tag on your blog. Post your video to YouTube. I would recommend embedding your YouTube video inside that blog post, and then it's just easy to find everything. I'll update this week's activities to include that Friday session, noon Guadalajara time, that we're going to talk to people. The other thing to really point out here is when you're submitting your work, maybe it's a little different this week because you're really busy and we're starting up the last second here, you're learning things. But when we're during the rest of the weeks, it's really important not to wait till Sunday to hand something in that's due on Sunday. If everyone waits to the last minute, then it just becomes a, what do I need to hand in to get credit for the course type thing. What the real feature here is, what's really important is that we're interacting. We're talking on Twitter with each other. That, say, I'm going to pick on Frank because I know Frank's registered and he's in Morelia, and Frank publishes his blog on Monday morning because he's a keener and he gets his stuff up right away. He's already registered, actually. There's 2 people registered, Frank, and I can't remember the other person that did. So he posts something on Monday, and he's waiting anxiously for people to go to his blog, and they'll put a comment on his blog. And Frank, wow, now I've got some interaction going on. So if you do that early, and then maybe Hortensia commented on Frank's blog, and then Hortensia also published to her blog, and don't just throw it into Ken. The idea is you're working together. So maybe Hortensia says, hey, I'm going to go out on Twitter, and I'm going to post and say, tag OpenFlip, maybe tag Ken, maybe tag someone else, and say, hey, I just published about Unit 0, and put it out on Twitter, and then maybe that'll advertise, and people will come in and comment, and we'll get a community going, because this is community learning. It's a MOOC. All right, so now I'll close it up.